I want residuals.
Booyah! It's a Whip-Ass Wednesday here in the Freak Nation. Coming up, Bob Wilber, author, PR extraordinaire when it comes to motorsports and sports. How Far is the name of the book. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Richie, what does your hat say there, buddy? Oh, Liverpool Football Club. Nice job, Holmes. Bang.
Yeah, the Champions League is back today. Liverpool is taking on Inter Milan in the round of 16, the knockout stage. So I'm all in today, baby. I am all in. Even though my Rams Super Bowl championship parade is going on right now, it's like their season's over. They won the Super Bowl. So now it's all about team who's actually playing today. So I'm excited. Go
Any
Reds.
ridiculousness so far on the parade?
No, it's just starting, Crash. We need to get this over with so I can watch the rest of it.
Clearly. Okay, let's go. He just whipped some ass on us.
Cooper Kupp is wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey. Matthew Stafford is smoking a cigar. It's already going to be a great parade. I can already tell.
Where are they doing it? Down what street?
Up by USC.
So is it Figueroa? Is it...
What does it matter? Who cares? It's a freaking parade.
It's a parade. I know. I'm just
Jesus,
curious.
Richie.
Knowing L.A., I'm just curious of the street.
Richie, I'm more concerned about this Major League Baseball strike.
Yeah, right.
Is Major League Baseball still around?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that sport still exists.
I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Whip-Ass Wednesday, Freak Nation. Got some things that are whipping ass. My whipping ass Wednesday isn't real nice. Isn't real friendly.
Oh, great.
But I certainly want to put it out there because it's pretty graphic.
Oh, lovely. So it's not nice, but it is graphic. Gee, I can't wait.
There's something whipping some major league ass. And I don't know if we've had anybody whip some ass like this since we started Whip-Ass Wednesday here in the Freak Nation. Yeah. Suave, what about you, man? What's whipping ass for you on a Wednesday, buddy?
It's a certain piece of video I want to share with everybody, and it has everything to do with the Rams Super Bowl championship. I didn't see this video until maybe about an hour and a half ago, but this is Van Jefferson, Super Bowl champion, Rams wide receiver. You guys probably saw the news like right afterwards that he legit had to like take off and go straight to the hospital because his wife was giving birth. To his son. Well, this is an incredible piece of video that NFL Films captured on the field as Van Jefferson is being told by a Rams PR person that, hey, listen, dude, your wife is at the hospital. Your son is being born. This is incredible.
Your wife's giving birth right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mommy's gonna have a baby. You gotta go. Yeah, mommy's gonna have your brother. Mommy's gonna have your brother. We gotta get that. You ready? We gotta go quick. Yeah. Because she's having a baby.
Wow.
That's
Isn't that
cool.
awesome?
Yeah. I like the daughter's reaction. Oh, really? Why do we gotta go quick, Daddy? Well, these things sometimes happen quick.
That's money.
Let's go. Yeah, that's really cool. Speaking of baby watch, did Odell Beckham's girlfriend, wife give birth? I know they were on baby watch too.
Not yet.
Okay, so
far
she's
as I
still
know.
bun in oven. That's cool though. Yeah, that Jefferson shot, I believe it was him and his wife. It must have been pregame. If clearly postgame, she's already in the hospital. But pregame on the field, there she is with her big belly giving him a hug.
Oh, so she actually attended the game.
Yeah, there's a
Whoa.
picture on an Instagram feed somewhere. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. That was badass.
You know, we got all these swinging D's trying to run this planet, and I swear to whatever is important to somewhere that women, a human being giving birth, just depositing something on this planet.
Somebody's calling you to weigh in on this, by the way.
Women are just a bomb. Being able to blast out a Bambino and not have any severe repercussions in that. I'm not discounting that postpartum psychological issues, physical issues. I realize it's there, but my goodness, some men on this planet giving pots of gold and lines and lines of cocaine and assistants out the wazoo. They still can't run a freaking country, but women could blast out bambinos. Love me some women. Still believe they should run the world.
We do.
Feminist.
Just in our own way.
We actually do. There you go. What's crack-a-lackin'? Whip-ass Wednesday here in the Freak Nation. Crasher, what about you, man? What's whipping ass for you?
Yeah. I don't have a whip-ass Wednesday.
Is this like the third, fourth week in a row?
Yes,
It's good to see you do your research.
I've got clearly a gazillion other things on my mind these days, and yeah, I just... Yeah.
Kids, this is how you don't do it.
Yeah, it's how you do the rest of your life, except for a 30-minute show on a Wednesday. Come on.
Exactly. It'd be real hard to get some whip-ass Wednesday in here, right?
I have more. I have another.
Do it.
I have another thing that's whipping ass today that I can steal for Crash.
Okay, good job.
I'll bring this one up too. This is great news because it gives us a chance to mark down our calendars here. Mark your calendars for March 11th. Now, can you take a guess for what's going down on March 11th?
Well, NASCAR's in Phoenix. IndyCar is...
Mark your calendar for that. That's fine.
Nowhere. Let's see. NHRA is Gainesville.
March Madness, babe.
Oh, yeah.
March Madness. Sure.
Right. The Ides of March.
The Ides of March. Another great
Saints
guess.
go marching in.
No. It's this.
March
It's
Abroda?
this right here. This is Formula One Drive to Survive. It's coming back on March 11th, baby.
Kenny.
Let's go.
Bang.
Season 4.
As if we don't really need the Netflix special at all, because
Yeah.
considering what we got. But that's something that's whipping ass today. It's already got me excited. My calendar is marked. I will watch the entire new season in a day. I've done it before, and I'm going to do it again. So mark
And
your
this
calendars,
season
everybody.
4 should be badass. We all know the drama that went down last year. This should be good.
Don't you think the last 4 or 5 episodes are the ones that are going to be the best when those two have at it?
Beginning of the season, not too shabby either.
Right.
Because there's still a lot of COVID complications the beginning of the season. So, yeah, pretty much, the entire season 4 is going to rock.
Awesome. Big March.
Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome, Crash. Picking up the slack.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's even racing related. Bam!
We're talking about, man. All right, here we go. Read that title.
Oh.
Read
Jeez.
that
Oh.
title.
Nope.
Yep, there you go, man. There you go.
Where? What beach?
A beach in Sydney, temporarily
sorry.
closed because some folks witnessed a gruesome killing of a human being by a 15-foot shark. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You had another option to put up there. You didn't have to put a murder up there.
But listen, sharks are whipping ass.
Well, yeah, that they are. And for those of you who don't believe in global warming, here's a wake-up call. Sharks are going to colder and colder beaches because the water's getting warmer and warmer. In New Jersey, actually, there was a big news report on, I don't remember exactly which beach, but one of the New Jersey coastlines talking about how bad this summer was going to be with sharks. So there, take that.
Again, if you have children that are slightly afraid of going in the ocean because of sharks, go ahead and show them that.
Yeah, no, don't show them that.
Yeah, and line them up.
You know, you had another choice you could have used. The bicycle.
Oh,
California.
True. Could have used that one. But again,
A bull
You-
attacked a bike rider in the middle of his race. A bull charged a guy on a bike, and then, as if charging the bike and knocking him off his bike at speed wasn't enough, he circles back and comes and charges the guy. And the guy lived to tell about it. He's talking about how everything on his body hurts except, I believe he said, his left arm and his head. So actually, thank goodness, his head is still something that doesn't hurt. But the rest of his body, ow. Yeah, you could have chosen that one and not a murder.
see if I can pull this up, Crasher.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, come on. Why in the video running? Richard, what's going on here, buddy?
I don't know. I don't
The bull attack?
Yeah, it's the bull attack, man.
blame TMZ.
Bastards. Okay, let's try this again. Well, that sucks behind. Anyway,
Was
running
that-
of the bulls destroyed by charging bull.
In Central California.
It's in Bakersfield, man.
That is Bakersfield. Okay.
Yeah. Damn Bakersfield. That worked out well, didn't it, guys?
Way to go, Big Town.
Yeah. That's great video. It's an awesome video, in fact. Hey, man, yeah, it is racing season. Yes, it is. I'll be out at Daytona tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. Be sure you follow us on all of our social media accounts, including MAV TV, Lucas Oil, General Tire,
WWT Raceway.
Yep, that one too.
So there's a lot of accounts we're taking care of. But don't forget Speed Freaks, too.
Hey, speaking of baseball and hockey, who thought the two would go hand in hand? Well, our author explains why next. His name is Bob Wilber, friend of the Freak Nation. Great interview with Bob Wilber here in the Freak Nation. How Far is the name of his book. And Baseball Hockey Fiends, it's for you. It's next.
Saddle up, lock and load.
Let's move these people out!
Star Trek Insurrection, rated PG, December 11th, only in theaters.
We'll get back to the video interview in just a moment, but with high gas prices holding steady, it might be time for you to check out Lucas Oil Fuel Treatment and Injector Cleaner. It increases power, fuel mileage. It's formulated for both gasoline and diesel engines, carbureted, of course, fuel injected. Are you kidding me? It's like a tune-up in a bottle. Just add it to every fill-up of that snappy car of yours. And of course, it's as simple as... You get it. Now, back to the interview. Crasher, how long have we known Bob Wilber?
Jeez. He was doing PR in the NHRA when we started Speed Freaks in the year 2000, right? So you've known him longer. I met him in 2000 when I joined Speed Freaks, but I believe you and Statman knew him at least 1 year prior.
Got it.
So it's been a long time. A couple decades.
Richie, you want to start the interview? You want me to do it there, babe?
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
It's ready to roll, baby. Let's go.
Hit it. In the Freak Nation, we've known Bob for at least a couple of decades, and little did we know when we first met this guy that he can write a mean fictional book, and at the same time write a mean autobiography. Was it autobiography, Bob Wilbur, or was it a biography when we first had you on in regards to your first book?
That was my autobiography.
Yep.
You know, gosh, for all those years in NHRA, people just kept telling me, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. And I'm glad I waited till I did, because I was kind of burned out on the travel. And in 2015, I told Timmy Wilkerson, I'm done. I'm going to write a book. And he was very, very supportive of that. And I had all those tales to tell from childhood as the son of a big league ball player, all the way up through my 20-some plus years in NHRA as a PR guy. And
Right.
it made for a good story.
What feedback have you received? I mean, it's been a few years, but good and maybe a little bit bad. Some feedback from that book. People like, oh, you went there.
No, it was all amazing.
Good.
It was. My Amazon reviews are like almost all 5 stars and just raves. And I think that's because that was my style of writing. It was like, I'm really just here in the room with you. I'm not trying to pontificate or act like I'm any more important. As a matter of fact, the theme of that book was 2 things. One was I'm the luckiest kid in the world because you can't pick your parents, and mine were amazing. And 2, just plow forward. Just keep going, man. Try anything that comes up. Don't overthink it. And so that was the whole theme of the first book, and it was really, really well received. I thought, maybe my family and a couple of friends will buy it, and that'll be it. And I actually made money, which is hard to do these days in publishing.
Nice.
Well, now you've got, it's called How Far, a tale of determination, DNA, and drama of these 2 young athletes, baseball and hockey. And I've got to be careful when I interview authors of books where there are, you don't want to be the spoiler. And again,
No.
with what's out there in regards to how far, it's not spoiling it. However, you get into the meat of how these guys end up meeting each other and the importance of these guys meeting each other. But that's one of those giveaways you don't want to give away, Bob Wilbur. How do you dance around these two athletes coming together without giving it away?
The way I put it in my, I just launched a new website, by the way. And when I say new, I mean my first website. And the bio in that kind of explains it. And the blurb on the Amazon page where how far is sold kind of explains it, is that the line I came up with was there's 1 million reasons why Brooks Bennett and Eric Olson should never have met. But there was one reason they did. And that's kind of what happens. These two guys are they're 180 out in drag racing terms, right? They're just completely opposite of each other. They couldn't be more opposite of each other. And when they meet, their lives change. And there's a lot of drama in it. I didn't shy away from that. It is not a sports book. There's a lot of sports in it, but it's a life book about these two guys written in their voices. It's not narrated. I wrote it as them, in their voices, and it goes places I was a little uncomfortable with, to tell you the truth. But that was good, and I needed to do that. After the autobiography, which was easy because it was all up here.
Right.
This was a real stretch, and that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a real stretch. I wanted it to completely be outside my comfort zone as a writer, and so far so good. We've been on the market now for like 3 weeks, and have consistently been in the top 5 to 10% of all the books on Amazon. All the books on Amazon.
Whoa.
It's crazy. Yeah, and I didn't know. I thought I'm losing my drag racing fans here, right? That's what I feared.
No.
But I mean, day one, it just shot right up, and it's been kind of consistently selling ever since. And this is really right now. This is the beginning of the PR campaign. We were a little behind schedule. The publisher got it out about 2 weeks earlier than they said. And Elon Werner is my publicist. You know Elon very well. And we were a little behind. We weren't ready. He was on vacation. And all of a sudden the book came out, and we just had to scramble. So we've been scrambling a little bit ever since to get the word out. It's just been social media up till this point. And I think I'm finally wearing people out on social media. They're like, okay, yeah, we know. We know you have a book. Thanks. But yeah, so that's how it's been. It was a fun stretch for me, and it was really, really interesting to do.
So, Bob, the book is about a baseball player, and we know your connection to the sport of baseball through your father, obviously, but you also feature a hockey player in this book. I'm a massive hockey fan. I have a Coyotes-based shirt behind me here, Leighton and Cargo.
Yeah.
So why choose hockey? Why not, just choose two different baseball players?
Nah.
What is your connection to the sport of hockey?
Well, I live in Minnesota, which is known as the state of hockey. There is a town. This isn't giving anything away. I think it's even in all the blurbs and PR stuff. There's a little town up in very far north Minnesota, literally 9 miles from Canada, called Roseau. It is unbelievable how many great collegiate and NHL players came from Roseau. It's crazy. And this little town of 2,600 people, they probably don't have 200 kids in their entire high school, have sent too many players to even number to NCAA careers or the NHL, including the Broughton brothers, Neil, Aaron, and Paul. Neil played on the Miracle on Ice team. They all played at the University of Minnesota. And it's just what life is about up there is hockey. And it's, I don't know what's in the water, but my gosh, for a town that little, they produce incredible hockey players. And that just seems so natural to me, that how could you be any more different than a surfer, son of a hippie, a baseball player from Southern California, and a hockey player from Roseau, where it's very stoic. It's very Scandinavian. They're not emotional very much at all. And the baseball guy is he cries every chapter. So I loved it. I loved writing it as them. I'm not insane. hear voices in my head, and they are their voices. They're friends of mine. And I got to the point halfway through the book where I told my wife, Barbara, I'm not writing this. I'm transcribing it. They are writing it. And to the point where I just threw my outlines away, because every time I thought, oh, I'm going to have them do this, this, and this, it's like, no, I heard them in my head say, no, we're going to do this. That's what happens next. So it's neat to write it in the first person that way as two fictional guys. It is historical fiction, which is a genre that was, again, way outside my comfort zone. But that means everything else, not everything else, but most of everything else in the book is real. Real times, real playoff games, real other people, real teammates, real big events. It's just that the two characters and their families are completely made up. So I got a lot of help from a lot of people in the hockey end, because that was not natural to me. I'm a big hockey fan. I'm a Minnesota Wild fan. The character of the hockey players initially molded by the captain of the Wild, Jared Spurgeon, who is undersized but outworks everybody. And that's my guy. He just outworks everybody.
Holy smokes, a little schooling there from Bob Wilber.
Well, I want to go back to this uncomfortable thing. You were outside of your comfort zone, you're saying.
Yeah.
You referenced that part of it was the genre of writing, but where else? I mean, you seem, maybe it's based off your first book, maybe it's because we've known you from racing PR, but you seem comfortable in writing. So what was uncomfortable for you?
Doing something completely out of anything I've ever done before. And I did that throughout my racing career. It was like, a PR guy, write press releases. And then all of a sudden in 2005, we started the blog on NHRA.com, and that changed my life. I had like 10,000 weekly readers, and they all felt like they knew me. So I remember walking in to Pomona once, and as many people yelled my name as Del Worsham and I walked in together as yelled his.
Jeez.
And he looked at me and said, holy crap, you're famous. And I said, I don't know, dude. I just write. That's all I do. And people like it. And that's great. And I'm happy to do it. And then all of a sudden, Phil Burgess from National Dragster recruited me to write a column. And that was completely different. I'd never done anything like that. A column is really kind of serious. You can't just write that like it's a blog. And so then I wrote the first book, and it was well received. And I thought, how far can I go here? How far can I stretch? I didn't think I was ever going to be capable of like a murder mystery or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But this whole historical fiction genre really intrigued me, and I knew it would be a challenge. I would say I did as much research as I did writing, because the historical part of it had to be right.
Right.
And I liked that. And I get up in the morning, you work until noon just doing research on who played who and who was on that team and who your teammates would have been. And then from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you write. And it became natural. I'm really, quite frankly, really proud of it that I pulled it off, because I didn't know. People ask me, how'd you know you could do this? I had no clue. I just went for it. And here's a funny aside about having no clue. I picked my hockey player to be the high school class of 1984. Why? Because I was the high school class of 1974, and my math skills are so bad, I thought, well, there you go. It's just 10 years apart. I can figure out what year it is every way. I just did it out of convenience, because I thought, well, that's easy. It's just 10 years apart. Just move the years. And it turns out that 1984 was maybe one of the best teams Roseau ever had. I had no idea. Totally clueless. They did not win the state championship because they got blitzed in the first game. They won the honorable mention trophy, but they all consider that team to be one of the best teams ever. And I just happened to pick it because my math skills are terrible, and I didn't want to have to constantly be figuring out what year it would have been for my guy. And that's just pure luck. Again, how did I know I could do this? I had no clue.
But what a life lesson for anybody listening or watching this right now. It's like, stop doubting yourself. Just do it. You never know where it may take you. And like with you, it's massive success and extreme accomplishment in being proud about something that you developed basically from scratch. That's just incredible.
Yeah, well, thanks. That's true. And then that was the theme of the first book, my autobiography, that I didn't even realize. It was never in the outline. It was never in my head. I got about 10 chapters in and I realized, my God, I'm making all these decisions that impacted my life on a whim. It's just like, okay, sure, I'll leave a job I love to go try something different. I did that at least 20 times in my life. Some were great. Some turned out perfect. Teaming up with Del Worsham changed my life. And Tim Wilkerson too. But some were abysmal failures. And I thought that I learned more from the failures than I did from the successes, because the success sometimes is just luck dressed up like success. It's just luck. But the failures, if you analyze what you just went through, that's how you grow. And that's kind of how it all happened. So this was that. It was another, let's just plow forward. Let's just try this. Let's try it. And if it didn't work, it didn't work. And if I couldn't finish it, then I couldn't finish it. But it took 3 years through all the research and the writing. I ended up in the hospital for 5 days, like a week after I finished the book. And it was like stress related. It was all like an ulcer and a high fever, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. And I had to get CT scans and had a camera shoved down my throat. They weren't really sure what was wrong with me. I was there for 5 days. And fortunately for me, it wasn't anything serious, but it could have been. I mean, the doctors were clearly concerned. And it was just, I had just put myself under so much stress to get it done that I didn't eat right. I didn't hardly eat at all. And I couldn't sleep at night. It was terrible, but I was so proud to be done with it. And then to get a clean bill of health, that was better.
Bob Wilbur, did any of your characters, your Olson or Bennett, take on a Bob Wilbur flair of the stress and the anxieties of trying to finish this book? How far?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure if they felt the stress. I'll tell you what I did subconsciously, which I didn't even realize I was doing, was that if these were two real guys writing this book together, they would get better as writers as the book went on, because they're not writers, they're athletes, right? And they would kind of get the swing of it. And I let that go. I let that happen and be part of it, because I thought that was realistic. That if you want to believe that you're really reading what Brooks and Eric wrote, then they would get better as writers. And I got better as a writer. So I have a lot of people to thank for that. I have a great editor. I don't know if you guys ever met Greg Halling. He used to cover NHRA out of Kansas. He was always in Topeka. But he's my editor. He's been on both books, and he is a mentor. And he's not a boss. He's a partner, and he leads by example. I would love I wrote it in Google Docs, both books. And every now and then I'd go into my document and he'd be there because we were sharing it. And I could see his little cursor moving across the screen. It was kind of voyeuristic, to tell you the truth. But that's how I learned so much from him, just by osmosis like that, watching what he fixed and how he cleaned it up. And I'm pretty wordy, both obviously right now in the spoken word as well as the written word.
We enjoy wordiness, though. That's kind of our job too.
Good. It gives you guys more time to just sit there. That's fantastic.
And listen to you and just be fascinated.
But anyway, he taught me a lot. And I had some friends on the hockey side who really were instrumental in this. I went up to Roseau twice. I wanted to know the town. So I called it like location scouting trips, right? Yes. The first time I went up, the superintendent of schools had me 5 meetings a day for 3 days with everybody from the guy who installs the ice at the arena to the mayor. And the final meeting was on the front porch of Newell and Carol Broughton's house, where all 3 of the Broughton boys grew up. And they were just precious. They were amazing to give me that kind of time. We sat out there and told jokes, and this was so long ago, I think most of the people in Roseau probably forgot I was writing a book. It just took so long to write. But Paul Broughton helped me a lot. He gave me some insight. And I'm all about details. I think that's what makes a book readable, is the details. You don't say, I went to school today. No, you talk about the weather and the sky and the grass. And Paul Broughton just taught me about growing up in Roseau. And that was priceless. And a former neighbor of mine his daughter Alexa married a minor league hockey player who plays in Indianapolis right now for the Indy Fuel.
Huh.
And so we got together in a hotel suite one night after a game, and he played junior hockey, which my guy does, and then he turned pro and and is still playing in the minor leagues. And that was priceless. Like, what's it like? They're sharing 4 couples in one apartment, because that's what they get paid. And I could relate to that because I did that in minor league baseball. I slept on the floor of the radio guy's house. We all did because he got a divorce and his wife moved out and took all the furniture. That's the glamour of minor league sports, So all of that was those details and that help from these people really, really was. I don't know if the book was possible without them, especially the hockey part. The baseball part, I knew I could do that.
Bob, as a hockey fan, I know very well about the Minnesota State High School Hockey Championships and how massive it is.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a famous YouTube personality every year. They'll do the Minnesota State High School Hockey Championship all hair team.
All hair team.
Which I love. Every year they do it. It's amazing. Yeah. But in researching the book, or maybe not, have you ever been to the high school hockey championships there? And what is it like? And were you able to put that into the book?
I put it into the book because I know Paul Broughton played in it, and he told me all those stories. I've never gone down there to the XL Arena for a game, but every game is on TV. So yeah, you get a part of it right here, just in your very living room. Is that the high school hockey championship is unlike anything else I've ever seen, and it's 18,000 people for every game. It's crazy. And the all hair team is the most class. Just right now, YouTube it right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about flow.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Kenny, I've actually brought it up on our radio show in the past. Kenny and Crash probably don't remember this, but I did bring it up multiple times.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember Lou Nanny. He played in the NHL. He played at the University of Minnesota. He was one of the guys who ran the Olympic team when they won the gold medal. He's a legend around here. He still lives in the Twin Cities, and he will do the color on the TV broadcasts for every single game. And he's like 85.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. He's a legend. He's a civic treasure in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Lou Nanny.
So after 3 years of this and you having you had health issues after it was all done. Are you going to do this again in another 3 years?
You want to get that phone call?
No. You don't want to answer that question.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll do it again. I don't know what it's going to be. It's funny. I have my former boss when I worked for Converse Shoes, best boss I ever had. And when I went into management, like running soccer teams and stuff like that, where I had a staff that I had to manage, I had never taken a business management course in my life. So I always answered my own questions with, what would Roger do? Because he was the best boss ever. He was just fantastic. He played basketball at the University of Kansas, about 6'9". And we stay in touch. And I, on a kind of a joke a couple of days ago, I said, look, I've got a year of promoting this book and getting out and doing signings and stuff like that and doing interviews. But when this is over, what do you say you and I write a basketball book? And he wrote back and said, that would be a dream. I would love to do that.
Whoa.
And it just so happens I have a cousin, Don Wilbur, who played at LaSalle, 7 feet tall, and played, I think, 6 to 8 years in Italy and made a lot of money over there because you could then. And he's on board too. He said, this would just be a riot. I would love to do it. I would love to collaborate and we all just contribute stories about what it's like to try to make it every step of the way, high school, college, pro, all the way to the NBA. My cousin Don was drafted by the Trailblazers and was like the last player cut out of camp and went to Italy and like is fluent in Italian to this day. I love watching him on social media because he will have conversations with his former teammates all in Italian.
Nice.
And he's still 7
Would you
feet
like
tall.
to translate this?
Man.
Yeah. So there's plenty of stuff there, right? There's plenty of material there. But we got to concentrate on this one first. And I'll be better about not stressing out so much over the next one.
A Tale of Determination, DNA, and Drama. It's called How Far. We've got the author, Bob Wilbur, here in the Freak Nation. Bob, we'll end it with this.
Yeah.
I think this is a good point to hit. Trying to understand historical fiction. You touched on it somewhat, but you better be damn sure you get it right. And specifically with two sports that are so into their stats and their numbers, you can't F up that historical fiction when it comes to getting those wins and losses and scores and hits and runs and bunts. How did you double, triple, and quadruple check that?
Like I said, every morning was 4 hours of research. And I had to be really, really good about it. I mean, I knew that. I knew that it had to be right. And I had practice with my autobiography, and that, I remember all the big moments of all the things I did, whether it was playing baseball or sports marketing or running soccer teams or drag racing. But I couldn't tell you what our ET was in round 2 at Gainesville. So that all had to be researched too. And because boy, a drag racing fan would spot something wrong and they'd close the book and say, I'm not reading this anymore. This good guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't beat Gary Scelzi, he beat John Force. So that all had to be right. And that got me kind of tuned into how you do this. And it's just a lot of research and turning it in, just stringing a bunch of words together after that.
Right.
It is.
Barnes & Noble, Amazon, How Far by Bob Wilbur here.
I always steer everybody to Amazon. It's just because I think everybody goes on Amazon and knows what they're doing there. So if anybody's interested, I'd sure love to see that sales counter click right back up, and it's available right now.
Boom.
However,
awesome,
Barnes & Noble has that rewards program, right? So if you have that card, go to Barnes & Noble. How far? It's an easy one to research, people.
There you go.
Well, buddy, sorry to hear about the health issue, but damn it, maybe a top seller will cure what ailed you, right?
It already has.
Right?
Yay.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks to the early publisher.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. Elon's still mad.
Right? Oh, he'll deal with it, trust me.
Yeah.
He will.
It's all good.
Bob, it's always our pleasure when you roll in the Freak Nation, buddy. We're proud of what you're doing, and even happier that we've known you for 2 decades, buddy.
It's likewise. It's always been a treasure of mine to be friends with you guys. And I told Barbara about this the other day. I said, going all the way back to when we first met Crash and Kenny, they would always bring up, you lived in Austin, you did this, you did that. You always remembered. And that meant a lot to me.
Oh, way cool.
Next time we see her, we say, Bob, I remember when you were shit sick and you're in the hospital for 5 days.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, you don't need to remind him of things like that.
Right.
All right, guys.
Bobby Wilbur here in the Freak Nation.
E.R. Wilbur, not U.R. Wilbur.
Right. And Richie, after that interview that we had with him yesterday, you went through some of the players that had actually played in that high school team, and they're still, I mean, there's some in the NHL right now.
Yeah, I looked up the town in Minnesota, and there are a couple players of note. One of which is Dustin Bufflin, who spent some time in the NHL playing for the Chicago Blackhawks, won a Stanley Cup, and went on to play for the Winnipeg Jets. And then there was also I forget his name off the top of my head, but one of the members of the current U.S. men's hockey team who lost yesterday and has not been kicked out of the Olympics was also from that town as well. So, Aaron Ness, sorry, Aaron Ness, former Coyote.
I was going to say there's another. Yeah. Aaron Ness, connection.
Former Coyote, current/former U.S. Olympian.
Richie, I saw the highlights. How do you lose to Slovenia? How does that happen?
I mean, here's the thing. I didn't really care about the men's team going into this tournament whatsoever. So the fact that they even made it to the quarterfinals is great with me. Cool. I'm all about the women's team. They're playing tonight in the gold medal game against Canada. 9:00 on Big Daddy NBC. It's going to be must watch. I cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. The U.S. dominated in the previous game. They outshot Canada like 50-something to 20.
Richie's hand gestures are greatness. Look at Richie's hand gestures.
Canada still won the game. But that same thing happened in 2018, where Canada won the preliminary game and the U.S. won the gold medal. So can't wait for tonight. It's going to be exciting.
It's awesome.
Oh, and one more thing before we go. We got the championship parade going on right now. It took Aaron Donald all of about, I don't know, 25 minutes to go full shirtless. There we go.
There it is.
Yes!
It's all right, Richie.
Also, social media roasting LA fans for not showing up for the parade, which is hilarious.
That's LA, though. That is LA to a T.
I don't know, man.
Parade? I'm going to suntan in my own backyard.
I'm oblivious to all that, man. I can't wait for this Major League Baseball season, guys. Really.
Right.
Seriously. Me and my
Go
boys,
D-backs.
we're getting jacked.
Go D-backs. I have a hat.
What do we call them, Crasher? What do we call them?
It's a law firm.
A law firm.
And Torini.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing some baseball.
Go Diamondbacks. I have a hat.
Boom.
I'm still a fan.
Diamondbacks get 60 wins this season, Richie?
Oh, I have no idea. They're not even going to play 60 games at this point, so.
Should we do an over-under on when the season will actually start?
Now let's do some
we're
research
talking
first.
about baseball. Stop it.
Yeah, that's
right.
a good point. That's a good point. Why are we talking?
I'd rather talk about the Champions League.
Me too.
Much, absolutely, yes, much, much more.
All right, Freak Nation, we'll do it again on Friday. I hope to be coming to you live from Daytona International Speedway. Who knows with what, but we'll have something.
Friday should be a chill day because tonight is qualifying for the Daytona 500. Basically, it only solidifies the front row, but then it does also let us know who's going to run in each of the two duels, which will be tomorrow night. And then Friday is just kind of meh. You should have plenty of time, Kenny. Plenty of time. It's only the truck race Friday night. Come on.
It's only the truck race, which will be the most exciting out of all of them.
I want Kenny to join us from the actual Daytona Beach.
That's actually a good idea.
You're right.
Yeah, get on the beach and join us with your little mobile Wi-Fi device. Yeah, you can do it. Screw the track and the media center.
Wearing Richie's Blackhawks thong.
If you do, we'll pay you $1.
Nope. All right, man. Hope you guys ripping ass on this Wednesday. Later.
I want residuals.